DaDisney Baker, and welcome to my channel. You know, live theater is something else. You have lighting to get ready, you got your microphones to get ready, and then you got your cameras to get ready, and then you get your product, get ready, and now we're ready. Katrina, what's happening? She's so excited for this. Well, me too. Me too. This is going to be fun. So what we're going to do today is we're going to work with a couple different doughs today. So we're going to make some puff pastry turnovers, and we're going to use some apple filling and some cherry filling, and we're going to make them 2 or 3 different ways. We'll try with one first, and if the first one works, we'll go with the other 2 because that's always a good thing. So what we have, I'm going to just make one small adjustment here. There we go. What we have is everything that I'm going to use. I'm going to make sure everyone knows that they can just go to their nearest Wise Market, Giant Food Market, down here, you know, Piggly Wiggly. What's the other one? Publix. You can get puff pastry dough in boxes like this. And you can also buy phyllo dough. And phyllo dough is a little bit more difficult to work with. It dries out real fast. And you can also get that at Publix. Some places like Walmart, they may not carry this. So go to your specialty supermarkets, some of your specialty supermarkets. If you're not sure, go online or give them a call on the phone and ask them if they have it. So we're going to work with both of those today. Our fillings, we have apple filling, and this is out of the can, right off the shelf from your market. We have cherry filling, apple filling. This is a puff pastry dough that we picked up today from over at Publix. The puff pastry dough, the Petrus Farm puff pastry dough also is from Publix. And then the phyllo dough, again, was also from Publix. So if you've ever had some of your Greek desserts, it's normally always made with phyllo dough. And I jumped right in, but let me say hello to chat. We have Katrina Sclapini, it's one of my amazing mods. Jess, one of my amazing mods. And we have Katie's here. Katie's fantastic. Chris Dye, how are you? First, I can tell you what, if you've seen any of the other streams of some of the channels that I like to check out, Adventures with Gonzo, Adventures with VP, Happily Ever Yachty, the Friar Project, Pete McDevitt show, they have some amazing signs, and those signs come from Precise Signs. And I went, had a little conversation with them today. Hopefully, I'll be getting a sign soon. So hopefully, in the future, you'll see some of that amazing work that comes from them. Paul Engel, how are you? It's good to see you. All right, so let's get busy. Let's not be dizzy. What we're going to do first off is, I think I like going the easy way first. So my oven says it's ready. I preheated my oven to 350 degrees. We're going to go and we're going to make some stuff out of the puff pastry sheets first. And then we'll use the phyllo sheets later. So last stream I had, I like sugar. So I like to top a lot of my puff pastry stuff with sugar. So this is called sugar in the raw. And this is a really, really good sugar to use on top of your puff pastry turnovers as they're baking. It gives a nice crispness to them. It's really tasty. We will be using some eggs today. So we'll talk about salmonella and how that can go totally wrong. And hey, Biz Video, what's going on? It's good to see you. This is my friend, my friend Jay from Biz Video. Check him out; he's pretty cool. Jay and I have known each other for years. I've been a baker for a long time, and Jay worked with me when we worked for a bakery distribution center in Baltimore, and then we moved up to New Jersey. And it was good touching base with him this week. He called me literally 2 minutes before I went live, and I told him to check me out. So here he is. So back down to basics. I'm going to slow down just a little bit. You always need the proper tools to work with. Sometimes you don't have the proper tools to work with. You'll hear some bakers talk about you should, I can do that. Central Florida Novelty and Gifts is in the house. Movie Mania Nick is in the house. How is everybody doing? You'll hear some bakers talk about baking sheets and baking pan liners and things like that. Those things are all amazing items, and they're all good to use for especially quick cleanup. I currently don't have any, so we're not going to use any of those today. So what we'll do is we're going to have our fruits. We're going to get our fruits into some containers so it's easier for us to use. I'm going to kind of expedite this a little quick today, just because we only have an hour. So let me grab a bowl. And throughout my years of baking, I've always tried to find what's the easiest to use in preparation of the things that I'm doing. Meaning, whether it be, what cookie pans you can use. My wife's an amazing person. She said, "Hey, honey," she says, "don't forget, you have some pans in the oven that were drying. So before you preheat them, take them out." Okay, well, they're a little warm. So what I was saying, the last time I had my last stream, we talked about some items that were in the background in the kitchen. And I will be honest with you, I haven't gone back. I know there were, I think there were 2 or 3 people that named all the items that we had that they saw in the background. And so we do have 2 winners for that. And what we thought we would do is in one of our next bakes, possibly this bake, is take some of the baked items that we baked today and send those out as gifts from the last bake, from the 2 winners of the last bake. So I will be definitely putting that out on a quick short tomorrow and letting everybody know who won from last time. And they'll be getting some of the pastries that we're going to make today. I know how to pretty much package bakery stuff to ship it out, so we'll see how that works out. See how that gets to them. But anyway, and we'll do the same thing today. So today, as you're watching the video, if you're watching on #replay, thank you very much. Nicole, it's good to see you. And, if you have an opportunity and you like baking, or you like what you see, this is only my second one, but, shout us out. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up, share out the stream, and of course, always subscribe if you want to subscribe, and then you'll get the heads up of where we're going to be in the future and at what time. Today we were a little bit late. I had some technical issues. My amazing producer Gonzo helped me through those. Thank you again, brother. You're awesome. But let's rock and roll here. So I like just using there's different kinds. As I said in my last stream, there's different kinds of baking sheets, cookie pans you can use. The older ones, they get more seasoned, if you will, and that is great, especially if you're making like chocolate chip cookies. Not so much for sugar cookies. I really like my stainless steel ones here. And actually what I can do is I'm going to make a small adjustment here. I like to make small adjustments, not big adjustments. My producer's probably going to go crazy on me. But let's see what we got there. That's probably a little bit better. All right, let's check that. Let's check this one out. Probably a little bit better. So these are definitely stainless steel cookie pans. I love these. Adventures with VP, what's happening? It's good to see you. Yeah, actually baking, yes. Gateway to the Magic, welcome. It's good to have you. These are some amazing Teflon coated cookie pans. If you do a lot of baking, it doesn't matter if it's pastries or cookies, or if you're just doing some small pizzas on some pita bread or something, get a good cookie pan. Get a good baking pan. Teflon coated. Don't use knives on it. Get yourself a nice rubber spatula. They'll last your lifetime. The stainless steel ones, again, will last your lifetime. So what I'm going to do with these is just set them aside until I need them. What's the first thing I always do is I always clean my hands. And so I have a sink of soapy water over here already set up for me, hot soapy water. And then I have the sink next to it that has hot rinse water. And again, it's important to me. I like keeping everything clean. I am wearing a black shirt today, not normally something that I would wear when I'm baking, because a black shirt and white flour don't mix. But this is an amazing shirt that my wife gave me for Christmas, and it's fantastic, and I love it. And I can turn this way, and you can zoom in, Gonzo. Look at that. Is that not cool? She's amazing. All right, so here we go. So we're going to open up our cans. We're going to get our spatulas out. We're going to empty our fruit. We have our flour sitting right by. So we're going to open up the apple first, just because the apple is... I'm not going to open up that one. Let's try to open up this one. All right. The apple has a clear gelatin. So it's not red. It's not a dark gelatin. It's a clear gelatin. And it's just easier if you go from your lightest to your darkest. Because if you have a clear gelatin, a little bit of apple, and then you go to open up your cherry, that's okay. Because the clear gelatin will just mix right in with the dark cherry gelatin. All right, you are going to see probably a speed revised version of how to make puff pastry. Turn the trash can around. All right, so then we're going to grab the apple, make a little bit of heat right here. Pardon my back. And equipment goes also for handy dandy can openers. Buy yourself a good industrial strength can opener. If you have an electric one, those are fantastic. They hold on to the lids for you. But just keep in mind that the blade on your can opener will get dirty. So make sure you're washing that every once in a while so it won't get gummy for you. So the items that you're going to be looking for in the background today, if you haven't already noticed, is you're going to find a couple of figments. So as you're watching today, you'll see some figments. And if you just remember and don't give it away to everybody else, try to count how many figments are in the pictures or in the background. And this is a good, thick cherry filling. I like this. This is called Comstock. It's made for Duncan Hines, but Comstock fillings have been around for a long time. They have a nice, thick consistency syrup. I like that. That way, when it does break, and the pectin that they use in the filling, it keeps the fruit together. All right, so we have our cherry there. We have our apple here. All right. Got my rolling pin. I'll set it aside. I'm going to reach down here, and I'm going to grab one of my cutting boards. This is a plastic scraper that a lot of bakers use. I'm going to use that in a few seconds. I'm going to grab one of my pastry knives here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take that apple, and the apples are nice wedges. So if you're making an apple pie, this apple is amazing. but we're making turnovers. So sometimes the apples are too big. So just take your knife. Just take your knife and just give your apples a little bit of a chop. Anything that comes in a can is going to be a little soft anyway. So they're not going to be too hard to chop up. And that way, when you go to put a certain amount in your turnover, it's not going to just stick all out the side. You're going to be able to get a good seal with that. Okay? And the reason I use this one, this cutting board, so I can do this. Get that back down in there. The cherries, you won't have to do that because the cherries are cherries. They're not that big. I'll set this aside to wash this later. All right, so we have our fillings prepped. We'll set those aside because we're going to need a little bit of room. I think we'll add one more. We'll add one more camera soon, but not today. So we're going to need some room. All right, here's where we go to get messy. All right, and I have these amazing Disney. These are cool. I got them at a yard sale. They're fantastic. All right, so let's use our puff pastry dough. All right, so we're going to take our puff pastry sheets. We're going to get a little bit of flour out. All right, so I like that, Chris. Yeah, everybody make sure that you just let VP know that I am a baker. I'm not a pretend baker. I'm a baker. Okay. So we're going to open up our puff pastry dough. We may not use all of it tonight, but I might do some more baking. Actually, I might do a vlog after we end. Because we're going to end today at 8:45. So hopefully we'll have some stuff out of the oven by then. If not, I might just go to a single camera because my producer does have a commitment, and I did start late. All right, so your puff pastry is going to come frozen in that box. It tells you to allow it to sit out for 40 minutes. Take it from the freezer the night before, put it in the refrigerator. That's just a suggestion I have. Okay. Then pull it out about a half hour before you're going to use it. It comes with paper liners between the sheet so they don't stick. So open it up, take your paper liners out. And you can go ahead and throw those away. Had a little bit of flour on the table. I did sanitize the table before I started. I cleaned off the bottom of the cans and sanitized those, the bottom of the box. Everything that you saw on here was already wiped down before I put it back down. That just comes through years of training. All right, so now you have two pieces that come in the box like that. All right. If you have a rolling pin and you feel comfortable rolling with a rolling pin, go for it. You see how I made all that flour just disappear? If you didn't see it here, I'll do it again. All right, so now you have your flour. Take your piece of puff pastry, lay it on your flour. Push it down a little bit. Take your puff pastry like that. Take your flour back down. Okay? Depending on the temperature of your house, depending on the temperature of your room, just remember, if your house has been set at, say, 72 degrees all day, that's going to be the temperature of your furniture. It's ambient temperature. It goes in. So this is 72. That counter is 72 degrees. The air is 72. So just keep that in mind. I turned my thermostat down about 3 degrees before I started just because I was going to have the oven on. All right. So now we have our flour. Jonathan Chong, welcome aboard. Good to see you. All right. So feel it out. If you feel there's an area that's sticky, just take a little bit of flour and put it on here. Okay, so these come a good thickness. These come about, I'm not going to say a quarter of an inch, almost a quarter, about 1/8 of an inch, which is a nice thickness for a turnover if you like a lot of dough. Puff pastry like this, if you bake this just this way, okay, it's going to turn out super fluffy, just like this tart is. You know, if you were to just put this on a sheet pan and bake it, it's going to get about that tall. Okay, so what I like to do is just give it a little bit of a roll. So I get my handy dandy rolling pin here, and it's a small one. And the amount of weight that you put on it, I'll just go over it as using just the weight of the rolling pin. And look how much that flattened that out. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I want to keep it, I want to make it square. These were a little bit over a rectangle size. So what I'm going to do is this little rolling pin is perfect for the size that I want. So it's a 1/2 inch more on each side that I want to roll. And just remember, if you're heavy-handed on right or left, that will make a difference. If not, just give it a little roll. Equal strokes both ways. Okay. I feel a little bit of a resistance here, so I'm going to add just a little bit more flour. I can feel that just from my years of baking. If you're unsure and you don't know if you're feeling resistance, put the extra flour down anyway. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Okay, now for those that like to measure things, can you get a measurer and make sure that all your pieces are going to be totally square? Sure, there's no doubt. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going the width of my rolling pin to the length of my rolling pin. I want it here, I want it there, and that's perfect. All right, so I'm going to take this one down, and I'm just going to set it up here. And again, like I said, I'm in a little bit of a speed mode here. So I'm now going to do this one, slide this one. And again, if you're just joining me, my name is Chris, Brian K. How are you? It's good to see you. I am a baker. I've been baking for over 40 years. I've baked almost every single day of my work professional life in the state of Maryland, traveling to Jersey, Florida, South Carolina, Georgia. I was a bakery technician for a company called Bakemark, so I got to travel around a bit, Long Island, New Jersey, Maine, Buffalo, New York, everywhere. So hopefully you'll be able to hang out with me some days and bake with me. Right now, we're just going to be doing some live bakes like this so we can get to know each other. And then as we go further, we're going to be doing live bakes with friends. Basically, that's pretty much what it's going to be called, Baking with Friends. And I'll have people on the stream with me baking, and we're going to have a good time. Don't feel that you can't mishandle this. You can. You can ball it up and move your flour out of your way if you want. Because now what I'm going to do is start making turnovers. And it's a little bit wrinkled. And just go over it once, twice. You can't hurt the dough. There we go. All right, so now our dough is ready. And I'm going to take my rolling pin here, and I'm just going to stick it right in my flour just to get it out of the way. You can't see that in the picture. There you go. Just like that. Just to get it out of my way. The extra flour I'll put up here. And this is where my handy dandy plastic scraper comes in. It's got a nice sharp edge on it. And I know sometimes you'll watch baking channels, or you'll watch like a baking program on the Food Network, and you'll see them using tools like this. You don't get much of a description. And so if I use a tool that you don't know what it is, hit me up on IG, hit me up in the comments later, and I'll definitely explain that for you. All right, so here we go. So now we got all of our puff pastry laid out. We're going to go ahead and rinse our hands off, get our flour off so we don't transfer that everywhere. Hopefully you can hear me as I walk around. Could not get my wireless mic working today. So we'll have that back on our next future live bake. And that is another amazing thing when you move into a new house. You always can't remember where you put all your tools. But, all right. So I found what I was looking for. What we're going to make up is we're going to make up some egg wash. Okay. I like antiques. I'm sentimental. This bowl came from a set from my mom. I love this bowl. I love using this bowl, so I use it anytime I can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pastry brush. It looks like a paintbrush. It's a pastry brush. It's and all I'm going to do is I'm going to brush off some of the excess flour. Now, if you don't want to get flour all over your floor, then don't bake in your kitchen. That was a joke. Hey, Jill, how are you? Welcome aboard, Jill. All right, so here we go. We're going to continue to brush the excess flour off. And the reason we're going to do this is because we're going to use an egg wash. We're going to make up an egg wash with fresh egg and water. And then we're going to use it for an outline to put on our puff pastry so we get a good seal. If we have too much flour, if you look at that, look, there's a good bit of flour on there. If you have too much flour, just pick it up, turn it over. That you won't get a good seal. And then your fruit is going to come out. How does your fruit come out sometimes? Your fruit's going to come out sometimes when you do two things. Overbake your puff pastry, it'll boil out, or your seal wasn't good. The two ways your seal is not going to be good is if you have too much excess flour and or you didn't use enough of a dampening liquid. Here we're going to use egg wash. There we go. And again, we'll just get our plastic scraper here. Great. Here we go. Fantastic. All right. So people say, well, how do you make up egg wash? Well, you're going to need an egg. That's a given. And here we're going to use eggs from chickens. You can use goose eggs, but I prefer chicken eggs. They're not as noisy. Again, that was a joke. All right, so you're going to just take your egg. Go ahead and crack your egg in. Open it up. Now, at this point, what you want to do is you want to take either side. If you crack an egg really well, you're going to have two pieces like this. Take either side of these over to your sink and fill one of them. I'll leave that there. Fill one of them with water. All right, so here we go here. So we filled that with water. We're just going to pour it in. And that's how you make egg wash. If you want a really dark color, a browning color for your egg or for your pastries, use less water. Then you're just going to take your whisk it up. We're not doing anything, you know, everything we're doing here, you can get all this stuff from your grocery store, you know. Mix it up real good. And that's, you know, if you made French toast before, that's what you got. A little French toast, you use milk. Can you use milk in this? Can you use milk for this? No doubt. Yes, you can. All right, so now here's what we're going to do. There is a pastry tool. This is our pastry tool. This is, you can pick these up on online. You can get them at Amazon. It's called a pie tool. You have a decorative cut on one side, and then you have a straight cut on the other side, like if it was a pizza cutter. I used to use this all the time when I was baking. How do you measure? Okay. For this, you know, I'm not going to pull out a ruler. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my plastic scraper, because if I go like this with my plastic scraper and I go like that, it's almost perfect. All right. And I'm going to make squares here. So I'm just going to go up like that. I'll go up like that. I made 2 indentations. Okay. I'll just meet that line. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'll go the other way too. Make a line. Make a line. Meet the line like that. All right. Do the same thing here. Make a line. Just lift it up. That was a little big, so I'll make this line a little longer. I'll go here, measure here, go from here, measure here. There's my middle. Boom. All right, so now I'm going to take my handy dandy cutter here, and if you've ever seen a pendulum blade going back and forth, it's the same as you're cutting pastry. Whenever you're cutting pastry, whether it's a pizza knife or something small like this, try to keep your elbow down and cut straight with your wrist. Just use a pendulum motion straight on. Get your cut, lift your blade up a little bit, and just come straight back. Okay, now what I'm going to do is just turn it. I'm going to come the other way. Just like that. Bada boom, bada bing. So now what am I going to do? All right, here's where your egg wash comes in. Take your brush, put it in your egg wash. And remember, when we're done here tonight, when I'm done here tonight, this table is going to get cleaned, and then it's going to get bleached out. I'm going to get a bleach solution that I'm going to make, and I'm going to sanitize this because we are using fresh egg, and we don't want to have salmonella contamination in the kitchen for anything in the future. So we're just going to go in about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch all the way around all 4 sides and in the center. And again, what we're doing is we're making that moisture barrier, okay, which is going to, don't make it too wet. You think it's too wet, then just go over it again, okay, and then use up that extra egg wash to go to the next one. Like this one was a little dry, so I used it. All right, so now you have your moisture barrier all the way around. Now here comes the fun part. Now you're going to take your fruits. There's my apple. Here's my cherry. Same process as I said before. Let's go with the lighter. Okay, I'm sorry. So this is called a disher scoop. Okay, disher scoops you can buy online. You can order them through Amazon. There's many different sizes. I have every single size I think they make. They do come in all stainless steel. They've changed through the years a little bit because of contamination areas. This area here is no longer because it was a plug. Sometimes the plug fall out and food would get up in there. They wouldn't clean them properly. These are amazing. Most people just call them ice cream scoops. And when you're talking ice cream scoops, let's see if I have mine. I had it out, and I think I put it away, but I have an ice cream scoop that came from an ice cream, sorry, I had an ice cream scoop that came from an ice cream parlor. It's a nice long wooden handled one, but I can't find it. Maybe I'll show it. So what I'm going to do now is, which camera is best? There we go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just push my scoop up against the glass, and I'm going to force as much filling in there as possible. All right, it is level, okay, across the top. And I'm just going to put that right in the center. And if I come across a big piece of fruit, I'll just use the scoop to chop it a little bit. Here we go, nice level scoop. We're going to put it right in the center. We're going to squeeze that. So when you squeeze this handle, what it does is it takes that little arm and it goes across the bottom and it helps push out whatever item that's in your scoop. And here is, of course, apple pie filling. Now, who likes cinnamon? I like cinnamon. All right, so what I like to do with my apple turnovers when I make them is I like taking a little bit of cinnamon sugar. And you're going to go, oh, that's not cinnamon sugar, that's garlic powder. No, save one of your old ingredients, whether it's garlic powder, or this one I think was Italian seasoning. Save them. And if it has like a little whole thing at the top, save it, wash it out, and then make your own cinnamon sugar. Don't buy cinnamon sugar. You can if you want, but just take cinnamon and sugar. And I like to sprinkle it on top. And what this will add to, it'll add to that little syrup, that syrup taste that you're going to get as you eat it. Okay, so this is nice and still wet. I'm moving a little quick today. I'm going to move right on to the cherry, and then we're going to seal them all together. All right, so then here we go with the cherry. Again, push your scoop down in there. Push your scoop up against your bowl. Get a nice level scoop. I will tell you what number scoop this is in a second. This is a number 20 scoop. It's a yellow base. They used to just identify them by color. I think they do color and number now. Get a nice level scoop. If you're a little heavy, it's okay. But just remember, if you put in too much, what's going to happen? It's going to come out. That's right. You're going to overfill it. Hey, Duke's Mom, what's happening? I really have to learn how to pronounce your first name. Good to see you. Glad you're here. And if anybody can help me with that pronunciation, call me on the phone and tell me that one day. I can definitely do that. Hey, Mike, how are you? Welcome. Good to see you. Hey, everybody, just do me a favor real quick. Just give me an applause icon for my mods in my chat. They do an amazing job, and I really appreciate them. So if you have an opportunity, go ahead and do that. All right, so we're going to be done with our fillings. I'm just going to go ahead and pick these up and move these across to the counter. Put my scoop right here in my water. And if you were with me last time, if you baked with me last time, did you hear about my rule about knives? Anybody in the chat, if you were here last time, what's the rule about knives? Knives and the sink. Does anybody know a chef or a baker's rule about knives in the sink? All right, so we're going to get our pans. Right. Let's see, 1 second here. All right, I'm looking for something. Can't find it. All right. So we're gonna use these guys. I was gonna use something different. We're gonna use these guys. Sorry, I was out of the picture for a minute and quiet. I was meditating. All right. So before we seal those up, though, we're gonna bump up our temperature in our oven. We're gonna go to 425. Our oven was preset at. Our oven was preset at 350. We're going to preset it. It's going to take us a few more minutes to get up the temperature here. So now what we're going to do, now here's the tricky part. You're going to want to, let me have this right next to me. You're going to want to take, I forgot to do it. Sometimes I'll put my filling a little bit more to one corner. The corner I know I'm going to pull over first. So I'm just going to slide these up just a little bit to that one corner. Okay. And the reason I'm doing that is when you go to lift that dough and fold that dough over, it's going to move your fruit a little bit. And because we're training and I'm teaching people, I want to make sure that even the littlest things that I do sometimes, I share with you. The little things that sometimes I'll do and I won't say, not everybody picks up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to lift our puff pastry dough up. Okay. Let me come around the corner here. We're going to lift it up. We're going to fold that point right over. Okay. Take your dough and just have your edges meet. Okay. Just like that. All right. So let's show you that again. You're going to take one point. You're going to go to your other point and set it down. Take your edges and let your edges meet. Now, I will tell you, if you get a lot of syrup in your dough, when you go to do this and your syrup is between your two seals, you might get a little bit of seepage there as it bakes. Again, we were talking about that seal, because all that is going to be sugar and cornstarch. All right, so now they're over. Now here's what we're going to do. Take 3 fingers on each hand, fingertips, start here and push straight down. And then use your index finger, put it in the 3rd pressure spot and push down and go all the way across. Just like that. So now that's what your end result's going to look like. And you have a good seal. Okay, you can't hurt it by pressing hard. Just like that. The reason I did the apple first, again, was because of color. If anything came out. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I don't know if you saw it here, I pulled my pastry away the first time just so I wouldn't interrupt these. So I'm going to fold over, push down, push down, push down. I got a little bit of cherry on my fingers, but it's on top, so it's okay. Fold it over, push down, push down, push down. Okay. All right. Oh, sorry to hear that, Katrina. 13 stitches. Ouch. So, and again, I haven't been looking up at chat for a while. Just because I'm just a little bit on time restraint today. I know you guys are there, and I appreciate you for being there. And I hope you don't take offense to that. Okay. So again, there we go. So that's good. All right. So they're all sealed. All right. I'm going to go wash my hands right quick. So I like to, like I said, I like to explain things because sometimes there are people that they'll be teaching and they're really good teachers, but sometimes they won't share, all of their secrets. And that's not me. That's not me. I'm currently here to share my secrets. I want to share my secrets with you because I can now take what I know and teach others. Okay, so hot dog. Nope, puff pastry. All right, so here we go. All right, so let me get back in the chat, see how everybody's doing. For the love of Disney, welcome. Birdwell, how are you? Birdwell 2427. Welcome aboard. We're glad you're here. Like I said, my producer Gonzo, he does have another commitment that he's made today. So in 15 minutes, he'll be going away and doing what he needs to do. He'll stay as long as he can, but then he'll need to go. And then he's basically going to leave me on this shot here, and which is absolutely amazing what he does for me. I'm very appreciative. All right, so now here's what we have. We have your puff pastry turnover. Here's where the sugar comes in. If your husband, your wife, your significant other is on a dietetic, they can't have a lot of sugar. Don't put sugar on everything because then they can't enjoy it. Don't do what I did yesterday. If you saw my first stream, I did these chocolate chunk cookies that I got from Cast Connection. They were phenomenal. Some of them I put in chocolate chips. Some of them I put in 6X sugar. But when I did them yesterday, I did them all in 6X sugar. And my wife's like, why did you do that? Now I can't have any. But now she's eating them at a quarter of a piece at a time. I'm going to grab another bowl. This bowl, I want to be a little flatter. I'll get creative here. Seeing that it is the Disney Baker, we'll use this plate. This is one of the McDonald's plates. That's Hercules. And that's actually not Hercules, that's Zeus, but it's from the movie Hercules. So we're going to take our sugar here. And I'm going to use sugar in the raw because I really like it. If I were in a bakery, I would probably use what they call a coarse sugar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just sprinkle this around here. And I'm not going to add too much because if I put too much down and I put the pastry turnover in it after it has egg wash in it, then I have to throw all that away. And I don't want to do that. All right, so we're going to do the apple first, okay? So we're going to take our egg wash. And our brush has been sitting in it. And then we're going to put a really good coat of egg wash on there. Get the back of your turnover so your sugar will stick all around. Don't be afraid to use up some egg wash. That's how your sugar is going to stick. Now, again, if you have somebody that's is watching their blood sugar and stuff like that, You can egg wash them and then just put them on the tray, just like that. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to pick the turnover up. We're going to go just like that. Then we're going to pick it up, and we're going to put it right on the edge of the tray. And these are going to get pretty big when they bake. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just shake my tray a little bit, because if I made a depression and took up all the sugar, okay, I'll shake it down. And then this one now, I'm going to put this way. So I can fit all 4 of them on one tray. All right, and this one I'm going to put behind this one, because this one is going to be for my wife, and I'm going to put it on here, and we're not going to put sugar on it for her, okay? So now we're going to take our sugar, and we're going to set it over here. Now, understanding that I do have egg wash here, so we're just going to be a little careful not to make sure I pick that plate up now that it's sitting in egg wash and put it somewhere else other than a sink with soapy water in it. Because if you pick something up that's been sitting in egg wash or any type of egg, you're going to transfer that salmonella through the kitchen. Okay, so just remember, anywhere, the only place that should go is in the sink. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to pick these up. These are the cherry ones. Got a nice coating of sugar. Put it the opposite way. And again, I'll leave one plain for my wife so she can enjoy also. And then I'm going to make some more of these tonight after these go in the oven. So if you can hang around, we'll get to see it again. All right, so now what I'm going to do, yes, did I just set this in here? Yes. Now, am I going to roll out more dough? Yes. Am I going to put more egg wash on this table? Yes. So am I going to take this currently and put it in the sink? Nope. Nope. I'm just going to put it over here. Everything that's going to be on this table is going to be washed in hot soapy water. Okay? I'm not going to touch that box. All right, so now I'm going to go over and wash my hands. I'm going to talk to you while I'm washing my hands. So when puff pastry starts to bake, it's going to separate all of those hundreds, and yes, I said hundreds of layers of puff pastry. And they're going to want to jump up. And that's the best part about this. But also that filling inside is going to start cooking, and it's going to make steam. And you need to have that steam escape. All right, so the best way to have that steam escape is just take your regular paring knife that you have at your house. Take a paring knife. I went over and washed my hands, by the way. Take your paring knife, again, start in your apple, and just put 2 holes, just like that, right on top. You want to do 3 holes? You can do 3 holes, okay, and then same thing here. You heard me hit the pan, so you can go all the way down. So that's going to let that steam escape, all right? So while we finish that and while we put those together, our oven got up to temperature. All right, so now we're good. All right, so here we go. And again, I'm going to do 2 pans at a time. Okay, I can put these side by side, or I can put one at the top and one at the bottom. But for today's bake, I'm going to go side by side. All right, now these are going to take anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes to bake. Is it going to be past the stream where my amazing producer, Gonzo, is going to have to go? Yes. But hopefully you guys will stay on, and we're going to make some more. And Gonzo, I know you can hear me, my brother. If you go, just keep this one on for me. And I just can't navigate it. That's okay. All right, so we're going to set our timer. And again, we're going to set our timer for probably 16 minutes because I want to see what they're going to look like. And more than likely, I might give them a turn in the oven. Here we go, 16 minutes, and start. Okay, so You know what? Let's go right into some. Let's make some phyllo treats. We'll make some treats with some phyllo. One thing that I did add from last show to this show was this amazing. And I know my lights are a little bit bright tonight, but maybe I can do this a little bit. I want you to see a sign that a really good friend of ours got us. When we moved from Maryland, we got this sign from a good friend of us, Herb and Joni, and it's fantastic. It says, "Bake the world a better place." And this was the perfect place to put it. Vanessa picked out that spot. So we're going to bake the world a better place. So hopefully you guys were looking for some figments. We got a couple figments in the shot here. And all right, moving right along. Let's Tiara, what's going on, girl? All right, guys, if you see Tiara in the chat, send her some love, send her some roses, send her a hug. Tiara is one of my amazing decorators, friends. Good, she's like, gosh, a spirit sister with me. She's amazing. I'm glad she's here. We worked together for years. The woman works fondant sugar like no one I've ever seen. She's made some amazing figurines with fondant. Big kiss to you there, Tiara. All right, so moving along, we still have our filling here. I'll rinse my hands. All right. All right, picking up a chat. And Jonathan's here. Excellent. All right, so hopefully I didn't go too fast on that one. If I did, please go back and rewatch. All right, and we're gonna make some different items here. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go grab a towel because I do need to clean up some of this because I have to put some plates down. I'm gonna grab my hot water towel here. Get some more hot water brewing. And we hope everybody is having an amazing day. And again, keeping clean with making sure your salmonella doesn't get transferred. I am going to use this towel. It is a hot towel with some soap on it. And I'm going to go ahead and get up my egg wash. We hope everybody's having a good day today. And we are glad that you came along. I am a heads down baker. When I start baking, oh, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that. I am a heads down baker. When I get into it, I don't, my wife says, don't say ahs and ums and stuff like that. So hopefully I haven't been saying too many of those. But when I get into baking, I just go into it. Tiara, I want to show you something. I can show everybody, but you guys have probably seen it already. It's my Tigger. He's my boo. He's my Tigger. I love him. So, and Tiara knows that. She knows that. She has a little boy. He's amazing. She has an amazing husband. Wow, getting a brain fart. And it's, God, wait. I'm trying to think of Tiara's husband's name. I'm sorry, it's just escaped me for a moment. But anyhow, all right, here we're going to go. All right, so we're going to turn around here. We still have 11 minutes on our oven before we have to check our turnovers. And let's see what we got up here. Oh. Here they are. Like I said before, it's a new house. I don't know where everything is. I know where some things are, but not everything. All right, so we're gonna take some cupcake pans here, and we're gonna use them with our phyllo dough. All right. Know anything about phyllo dough? Phyllo dough will dry out very fast. and we're gonna cut some pieces of phyllo dough. We're gonna tuck them into our cupcake pans, and we're gonna put our filling in them, and we're gonna bake them. And that's what we're gonna do next. Hey Chris, how are you? Yes, I am very lucky. I am very lucky to have Gonzo. Thank you, Chris, for saying that. I appreciate it. You know, thumbs up and show some love definitely for Gonzo, everybody also. And Chris, I'm glad you're up and about and feeling better. Phyllo pastry, yes. All right. Phyllo dough comes packed really, really tight. You don't want any air getting into it. It's going to dry it out. I made some apple strudel with some phyllo dough back in October. I went to an Oktoberfest. All right, so before I open this up, I'm just going to talk through what we're going to do. All right, so we're going to open this up. Okay, we're going to get our pans up here. We're going to get our pans ready. We're going to put a little bit of flour in the bottom of our pans. I don't want to put oil in because I don't want the oil to be absorbed by the phyllo dough. Okay, I'm going to get some more sugar. I'm going to need that for my hands. I'm going to sprinkle it on top. All right, and that's pretty much it. Oh, I need my pastry scissors. Pampered Chef. Does anybody know what Pampered Chef is? Pampered Chef pastry scissors. These are awesome. All right. Pans are ready. Okay, we're going to take a little bit of flour. And we're just going to drizzle a little bit of flour over top of each one. And what that's going to do is if any moisture gets between the phyllo dough, if any moisture gets between the phyllo dough and your pan, meaning moisture, meaning any of your syrup from your apple or your cherry, any moisture from the egg wash, that way it won't stick. So then just take your hand and just go like that. And I'm going to show you what that's going to look like when I get done. And you're not, you know, it doesn't need to be a Picasso painting or anything. You just want a little bit of flour in the bottom of your pan and on the sides like that. Just like that. And this is just regular bread flour that you would get from the market. There you go, right? So the flour's in there. This is a little bit. Anything that after the bake, anything that's left over from when you pull your pastries out, it's just going to stay in the pan. It won't travel, so it won't give that dry taste. All right, so we'll set these on the corner here. All right, here we go. We're going to open our phyllo dough. And the phyllo dough, okay, once you get it out of the package, it's going to unroll. And you're going to notice, and I don't know if you can see it, there's literally like 50 or 60 layers here, okay? 7 minutes on our turnovers. All right, so now what you're going to see is I have all this plastic left over, but I have the dough here, okay? And what you're going to need to do is take your phyllo dough now and just pull it out. Take this part and stretch it out, okay? Now here's where you have to work fast, okay? Take it to the end of your plastic, okay? And go like that, all right? It will tear real easy, okay? So what we're going to do is we know we're only going to use a certain amount. We want to put it in there, so we're going to make squares. So we're going to take our pastry scissors, okay, here, and we're going to just cut right across our phyllo dough. Boom. Now we're going to take this phyllo dough and we're going to roll it back up. All right, and we're going to put it back in our box and back in the fridge temporarily. And there it goes. We're going to grab our hot pad. We're going to check our oven right quick. See how things look. Very nice. Good, good, good. We're going to reduce our temperature to 400 because my temperature is like spot on. And I don't want to burn those bad boys up. All right, so now we're going to take the scissors and we're going to go across. So we're just going to cut basically a square. All right, we're going to take this one, put it on top of this one, try to keep that dry. And here we go. All right, so how do you count your layers? Oh my gosh, if you can count these layers, good luck. Okay, it's hard to count your layers. So you want at least 3. Try to get 3 to 4 layers. Okay, take them, put them inside, and go just like that. Nothing else. All you have to do is lay them inside. Hopefully you saw that. All right, take 3 or 4 layers. You need your magnifying glasses. Feel free to grab those because these are thin layers. I'm using 3. We'll put it inside and go down just like that. Again, if you get 4 layers, if you get 5 layers, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's not that big of a deal. Don't sweat the small stuff. It's already starting to dry on me. When it starts to dry, it starts to stick together. Okay, this is 2 or 3 layers here. And the reason I put those back in the fridge is because I didn't want them to dry out before we got to it. All right, I'm going to put these with these. And that's about 4 or 5 layers there. And again, if you've ever worked with phyllo dough, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of layers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just because they're starting to dry out. So yeah, don't quabble over 4 or 5. If you get 5, great. If you get 4, that's cool too. Hopefully you can hear me. My microphone is on hiatus today. So I said if you get 3, that's great. If you get 4, 4 is always better because it gives you a better bottom. So your bottom won't burn. 5 is a good number too. So you can use 5 layers. But phyllo dough will dry out quickly. One, 2, 3, 4, and that looks like that's 5. We'll push it in here just like that. All right, now we're going to go to the fridge. And we're going to get our phyllo dough out again. We're going to turn around and see how our puff pastry turnovers are doing. All right, all right. All right, yes, this oven is running HOT hot. All right, we're going to turn these around a little bit. Even though before the timer went off. And they're looking very nice. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to let's bring this shelf up, get them off the bottom a little bit. Yes, am I losing temperature in the oven? Yes. And that's okay. I'm going to just bring these up a bit. Because that coil down the bottom is generating a bunch of heat. There we go. They're turned around. We'll check our timer. We'll add for 5 more minutes. So that'll give us a total of 20. If I'm not mistaken, 16, 17, 24 more minutes. Yep. All right, so now we got these. So before these dry out anymore, okay, what I'm going to do is, seeing that I got the 6, is I'm going to work with the 6, all right? I'm going to put a little bit of egg wash around the edges just to keep them wet. Give us some color. And this is where I was talking about moisture getting behind the phyllo dough. It's possible. Brush in to out. Don't brush down. Put your brush in and pull it out a bit, like that. This one fell in. We're going to pull that out a little bit. There we go. So put your brush in and then pull brush your egg wash into the dough and then bring it out, okay? So now what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to go ahead and grab my filling, and I'll start with my cleaner filling first. And my cleaner filling is going to be, of course, apple. So now I'm just going to take my spoon here, and I'm going to cut my apples up just a little bit more. And I'm just going to take a spoonful, put it in there. And you can put as little or as much as you want, depending on how much fruit you have, depending on how many people you're feeding, if you just want it to be different. If you want to make up like a sausage mixture, you want to make up a taco mixture, do the same thing. You may want to make up some, I don't know, maybe like some, I don't know. I think taco was a good one. I like taco mixture. And we're going to put that in there. It looks like we're going to get in one more apple. And then we're going to finish this up. All right, seeing that I can't get another one, I'm just going to take my apple, leftover apple pieces, divide them up. So now we're going to have some apple. And we're going to have some cherry. We'll take that little bit of juice there. Boom. There we go. So there's the apple. Coming over is the cherry. If you're just joining us for the first time, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. Feel free to hit that thumbs up sign. If you have some time, look into some of the other things that I've posted on YouTube. And if you like it, subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate that. I like making new friends. And then feel free to share it out. Don't be intimidated by that little share button. Once you hit that share button, it'll tell you what to do after you hit it. All right, so what I'm doing now is I'm pretty much using the cherries, and I'm kind of not using all of the juice. I'm going to use as many cherries as I can to finish up these trays, and actually it looks like I'm going to finish all my cherries up. Okay, and again, understand that this is going to puff up when it bakes a little bit. When it bakes, okay, we're going to use just a little bit of the juice there. Okay, so that's finished there. Wash my hands up. And if you notice, I do use, when I'm baking, I like to use paper towels to dry my hands. If my hands were just damp, depending on what I was using, like if I was just washing my hands from the flour, and my paper towel was just damp, and I could use it possibly again later just for the flour, rinsing my hands from the flour, I would save it. But if I'm using the eggs or cleaning off the table, or something like that, I'm just going to go ahead and just take it and throw it out. All right, so now we made up one, okay? And we've got 9 of these. The thing I don't want to do is I don't want to just put them in there like this, okay? I want to put something underneath of them, okay? Make me like another tray. And what that does is that builds up an insulator. So if I were to just put these in right now, and those elements were heating the bottom up, these would get dark. If I put them on a tray, that acts as an insulator. They'll still bake, but you won't get as much dark bottom. That's a good one. Share that one with a friend. All right, let's get our handy dandy Mickey hot pad, and that was a total of 20 minutes, and our bottoms did get a little dark just because we started a little hotter than I expected. I'm pushing on the back sides to see if they're mushy. If the back side is still mushy, give them another minute or two. These are not. These are awesome. And again, I use the word awesome a lot. Awesome. All right. Boom. So now, there you go. Oh my goodness. I don't know where my screens went. My cooling screens. That is odd. Okay. Oh, here they are. Cooling screens. All right. So I have my pastry here. My oven is hot. So I'm going to go ahead and take this. I'm going to lower my temperature to 375. Okay. By the time I open the oven, put these in. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't do my sugar. Okay, so we're going to do cinnamon sugar on top of the apple. And just a little bit, not too much. That way my wife can enjoy it. And then I'm going to take the what's it called? Yeah, sugar in the raw. And I'm going to put that on the cherry. All right, here we go. We're going to put that in, and we're going to start this timer for about 16 minutes. I don't have to turn this one. So 16 minutes. All right. So here we go. We have our cooling screens. So we're going to take our puff pastry. We're going to cross our cooling screens over. We're going to take our puff pastry directly off these pans. So get your handy dandy. If you have a hamburger flipper, go ahead and get your handy hamburger flipper. Go ahead. Now, these are going to be very slippery. And they look amazing. And again, everyone, if you get an opportunity, if you see Gonzo in a chat somewhere, thank him for doing an amazing job for me tonight. I thought he did awesome. But he did have to go. And we do miss him. And the reason you want to take these off and put them on the screen is to stop them from baking. If you leave them on, even on this little stainless, they're going to continue to bake, which will dry out your product if you don't want it dried out. So what I can do now is I can just come up to the camera and I can show you these are how they look. Look at those. And they turned out really nice. You can see the separation here of the puff pastry. And the fruit started coming out a little bit. They're perfectly baked. I can pick one up and show you the bottom. It's got a little bit of a dark to it because my oven was a little too hot. But the sweetness, I'll be able to, you know, the nice thing about puff pastry is later, I'll be able to go ahead and scrape some of that puff pastry off, some of that burnt puff pastry, kind of like when you're making toast. When you're making toast, you can just scrape that off. And now the apple didn't get too dark on the bottom, but they look gorgeous. Nice. These look absolutely beautiful. There we go. All right, so we're going to take those. Now, these pans definitely need to be washed. Woohoo! All right, let me get a towel over here. Then we just got a little bit of cherry juice on the table. Clean that up. And then we'll throw that away. Our puff pastry is still here. There. Put these over to cool. And yes, these turned out amazing also. These are awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed baking them with me. Of course you baked them with me. And I'm sure I have a couple people that will want to drive by tonight, pick some up for a snack. Nope. Nope, I'm not driving. I'm not making no deliveries tonight. That is not happening. So here's the part that I didn't expect tonight, was that now, you know, it's just me and you guys. You know, Gonzo is taking care of what he has to take care of. I'm going to go ahead and take this phyllo dough, and I want to put it back in its package that I had here. And I don't think I saved it. I believe I threw it in the trash. So I'll get myself a Ziploc bag. A gallon Ziploc bag. Because I want to keep that dry. There we go. All right. Well, I'm going to take that. I'm going to put it in here. Okay. I'm going to roll as much of the air out of this as possible, because I don't want my phyllo dough drying out. And I don't think I'm going to continue tonight live. If you want to hang with me, I think I'll hang out till these phyllo dough sheets come out. What do you say? We'll do that, and we can just chat. I can just go ahead and set this stuff aside, and I can just chat and just hang out here. So thank you all for coming in. It's pretty amazing to be able to take a trade that I've learned and move forward with it by teaching others how to do what I do, how to do what I've done for 40 years. And that is to feed people. And I enjoy it. I'm now here in Florida, and it gives this channel will give me an opportunity to give back. You know, I love helping people, and what I'd like to do in the future with my channel is I'd like to help out others who need more help than I do. My sister Louise has multiple sclerosis, so I'm going to be working with fundraisers for multiple sclerosis. I'm going to be working for fundraisers with autism. And what I've learned here since I've been in the Orlando area is a lot of these amazing YouTube creators take a lot of their time to raise money for an organization called Give Kids the World. And I would love an opportunity to help do that also. So that's just a little bit about me. I love to collect Disney pins. My channel, the other day, I did an unboxing of some Disney pins. I will be making Disney pin frames on my channel also. And we'll just have just regular, everyday, hello, how are you stuff going on. So if you enjoy stuff like that, please, you know, come on in and say hello. Let me look at chat, see who's here. Arlene is here. Arlene, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Oh, I appreciate that. Yes, I did. How about that? Arlene is definitely one of our mods here. She's awesome and amazing. Arlene and VP were one of the first channels that I came upon back in November of 2021, and inspired me and those that I met after them through their chats inspired me to do what I'm doing. So I appreciate her and I love her. She's another spirit sister of mine. Jeff and Angela, how are you? I'm sorry, Jeff, if I missed you. I don't know how long you've been here, but I didn't make cupcakes, Jeff. I made puff pastry turnovers. All right, so let me get those back into the shot here so people can see what I made and we can talk to it. Because I know if my producer was here, he'd be saying that. Hey, Chris, put your product back into the shot. So we're going to do that. Those are the apple puff pastry turnovers. And these are the cherry puff pastry turnovers. And in the oven, yes. And in the oven, we have phyllo dough, little phyllo dough cupcakes, little phyllo dough desserts. So, all right, if you all want to do some Q&A, we can do some Q&A. That would be cool. I'm gonna grab something to drink because I've been talking for a long time, and my goodness, my throat's getting a little sore. Not. I can talk forever. I have some more puff pastry sheets here that we're going to put back in the freezer for another amazing day. Another amazing day of baking. So let's do some Q&A. Thanks, Jonathan. I appreciate you. I appreciate that. All right, so if you're just coming on board, hey, Christina, what's happening? If you're just coming on saying hello, we took just regular old puff pastry dough that you can buy at the supermarket. If you go to Publix, it comes in a box. It's Petrus Farms. It's in the freezer section. It comes frozen. I would suggest if you're gonna bake with the puff pastry dough the next day, pull this out a day ahead of time and put it in your refrigerator. Pull it out about 15 minutes, 20 minutes before you're going to use it. It's more pliable. It comes with 2 sheets, and 2 sheets made 8 large puff pastry turnovers. We made cherry. I'll bring up one of those cherries. This is cherry with no sugar. I should have light on this. Yeah, let me turn this light. There we go. There we go. You can see it now. That's the cherry. And the only difference between cherry and the apple is one has apple, one has cherry. And this is apple. Does that not look yummy? Now, my experience through all my years of baking, and some people will have their own opinions of this. I like waiting till anything I bake cools down, because your flavor profile changes in your mouth if it's too hot. You're not going to get all the flavors that are in that one item. You won't taste them all, because if your mouth is just too hot, you're just going to go, that's too hot. Well, then your brain's going to go hot. It's not going to go, ooh, that's cherry, or oh, that's lemon, or oh, that's banana. You're going to think hot. So let your items cool down, especially puff pastry. When puff pastry cools down, it needs to continue to dry out. Okay, even though you have that moisture inside, those side parts, you want them to dry out. When we would bake racks and racks and racks and racks of these at Wise Market and at Sam's Club where I worked, when they came out of the oven, we just put them aside and put a fan on it and just let the air just finish, drying them out, because you want them nice and flaky. When you bite into it, you want it just kind of like go everywhere. And that's what puff pastry is. It's delicious. And when I worked for a company in Baltimore, we used to call that, you go to 7-Eleven and buy the donuts in the morning and get your coffee, and you put your donut up on the dashboard, and the owner of Bakery Express there would call that dashboard dining, and I thought that was pretty cool. But here, we get an opportunity to show you how to make some special desserts. You don't have to make them this big. You could, if you go back and watch the replay, you can take those squares then and actually make 8 of these. Again, remember your portions of filling, cut those in half too, and make 8 of them. You want to make up a different type. You want to do mincemeat. You want to do lemon. You want to do peach, blueberry, any flavor you want to do, strawberry rhubarb. Feel free. It'll take any fruit that you can think of. And you can take the cherry. We always put coarse sugar on the apple in the bakery. And then for the cherry, we wouldn't put any coarse sugar on them. But after they cooled down, we would take a sifter of 6X sugar, confectionery sugar, and sift sugar over top of the cherry. That was my favorite. Cherry is my favorite. I love it. So, it's almost time for these to come out of the oven. Let me rinse my hands here real quick. We are very, very appreciative that you came in tonight. Thank you so much. Appreciate all my mods that were here tonight. Thank you so much, Paul, Jesse, Katrina, and Arlene. And hope I didn't miss anybody. Jess. And I am the only one who just tried to take a bite through there. Jess. Oh well, you know, I guess it's like when you see really good food being made on TV. I wish I could smell the aroma. That's pretty funny, Jess. Thanks. And Katie, are puff pastry sheets expensive? Wow, you know what? That's a good question. We actually went out this evening. We bought some. And I want to say, all right, I don't normally do this, but let me see if the receipt is right on the top of the trash here, which it's not. I'm going to say, yeah. I'm going to say, yeah, they're a little pricey because it's a decadent dessert, if you will. I think phyllo dough, Katie, is going to be more expensive than puff pastry because it's just the process of making the phyllo dough. It takes a lot more. So, yeah, I would say that. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit more pricey for you. I shouldn't have shown everybody that I was digging in the trash. That's not cool. But I just wanted to see if that receipt was on top. So, the desserts look delicious. I appreciate that, Christina. And the nice thing about doing here we go. I found Petra's Farm puff pastry. Those sheets are $5.24 box at Walmart. Thank you. Excellent. And you know what I think I can do? If this makes my face too big, now I can come up here. And I think I can do this now. Boom. Hi, everybody. So I can highlight. Yay. Oh, look at that. There we go. And actually, that's not too bad. You know, if you get 2 sheets, you know, for $5.24. What I did see today is you can get pre-made fruit turnovers frozen. There was 4 in a box for, I think it was $4.29. Already frozen, made up. All you have to do is put them in the oven. So for $5, you can get 4 of them, but they're smaller. They're a lot smaller than this. So now even hungry. I hear you, Jonathan. I hear you. So, you know, it's the timer went up. It all depends. You know, if you're making stuff for a party and your friends are coming over. Oh, let me move my camera. If your friends are coming over, you're making stuff for a party. I don't usually put a price tag on that. Oh, these are awesome. These are awesome. All right, so that was 15 minutes, 18 minutes, and these look almost okay. So great, these are done, and I'm going to show you how these are done. How do you know when these are done? I'm going to come up close to the camera. Okay, so the way you know that these are done is if you look at the filling. As soon as you start to take them out and the filling is bubbling a little bit, that's when they're done, okay? Because you can't pick it up and look at the bottom of it. So when your filling is bubbling, filling is definitely bubbling, these are done. So now that we talked about that, I'm going to turn my oven off. Don't want to waste electricity. All right. I know I've been going in a couple different directions with conversation. I'm going to lift this up and we're going to move Zeus out of the way. And this sugar, does anybody remember what we're doing with this sugar? We're throwing this sugar away. Yes, because it had fresh egg on it. We'll put the plate in the sink. All right, so what we're going to do now is let's grab our spatula. And we're going to move our puff pastries together. We're going to turn them all one way here. And then we're going to slide the apple over onto the same screen. because my new screens that I bought, I don't know where they went. I bought some new screens I'll have to show you next week. Okay, so this is a little trickier. Yes, these are going to be hot. All right, let's see. I have a tool. I have lots of tools. I have a tool in here. And Sierra, if you're still here, you've seen this tool before. Okay. These are little baking spatulas, and you can. The company's called Ateco, A-T-E-C-O, and these are nice little. These are little, and when I mean little, these. Look, my hands are only this big. These are little baking spatulas. These are really nice. They make them, and then they make one that's pointed. Okay, and I've taken the one that's pointed and I've bent it for this purpose. Okay. So what you'll need to understand is, number one, this is hot. I did bring a little fork out with me just in case I need to help move it. Try to move your phyllo dough, okay, with your hand first. Try to twist it, but just squeeze it real tight and try to twist it. Sometimes, like you can't see here, I have a little bit of juice that boiled out onto the side. That's going to act as glue. All right. If you can remove that, okay, and then go underneath, loosen it, and carefully lift straight up. There you go. All right. And again, it takes a little bit of practice. You know, definitely try this at home. Yes, try this at home. I am a professional, but you can still try this at home. All right. There's nothing with the apple stuck to the side, so I can actually lift that up and move that right over. And I know I probably make this look easy. We got a little bit of sticky here. Okay. Lift that up and move it over. And we're going to get this in here. Have a little bit of a resistance here. If you have to go around the sides. See, I went around the side of this muffin tin, cupcake tin with this, and it loosened it. So now I can just pick it up and move it over. If you get resistance, just find out where the resistance is. Put the tip of your, either, if you don't have one of these, use a paring knife. Use a small paring knife. You know, there we go. Lift it straight up. Boom. There it is. Okay. A paring knife meaning something like this. This little paring knife. You can use a butter knife if you feel comfortable using a butter knife. Oh, look, that one just came right out. All right. These are coming right out really nice. I'll loosen this one a little bit from the side. I got a little bit of cherry juice here. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Again, I had a little bit of trouble with my audio today. And before we came live, I couldn't figure it out, but I will. And there's a cherry one. And it broke. I'll have to eat that one tonight. And as I was saying earlier, you're going to get some residual flour left in your bottom of your cupcake tin. And that's okay. And you wanted that there so your fruit and your pastry wouldn't stick that much. All right, so I'm going to take this and this, and I didn't use that. I used this and this. Put it in my sink. And number one rule of bakers and pastry chefs and chefs around the world is no knives in the sink. Because when they get underwater and soapy water, you can't see them. And this is not a hot baking tray. It was hot, but it's not now. All right. Put those aside. All right, so here we go. All right, so let's get a close-up. And these fruit tarts, this is apple cinnamon And then I have cherry. And these were made with phyllo dough. I used about 5 or 6. We started with 4 layers, and I think I went right away to 5. So it was 5 layers. I unrolled it. I cut them, squared them out, and cut them into squares so they would fit. I put flour in the bottom of the cupcake tin. I pushed them down inside. I egg washed them to give a little color. And then I put the fruit in, and I added cinnamon sugar to the apple. And I added sugar to the cherry. So that's what the apple looked like. And these are what the cherry looked like. Wow, this is different. Trying to get a different angle here because I don't think I can change my angle. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I can. Silly me. Oh, where's my other angle? This one? Hey, look at that. I did. I can. Yeah, let's do that one. Great. All right, so. There they are. Look at that. So these are the, look, I'm a producer. I'm a producer, not as good as Gonzo. So these are the apple. And these are the cherry. And I'm going to go ahead and hold one up and show you the bottom. They didn't get too dark at all. We were talking about, where is it? Where am I going? There you go. The bottom. They didn't get too dark at all, you know, because I put them on that other pan. And look, there's no bottom. That's not dark at all. So if you want them a little darker on the bottom, you can definitely not put them on that pan. That pan just acted as an insulator. So these are the apple and cherry phyllo dough tarts. You can take one of these. I'm going to set them back over here on the table while we're talking. I'll go ahead and change my camera angle in a second. My amazing executive producer, Gonzo, had another engagement to go to, so he had to leave. So I'm going to kind of do this by my onesie. Ta-da! There I am. Let's go back to this one. This one? Nope. All right. Well, we all know about me touching buttons. I shouldn't touch buttons. Ta-da! Those are my shorts. All right. Boom. Let's go back to this one. And then let's go here. There. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I seem to have lost my other camera. That's odd. Hi. But anyway, let's see if I can find that. All right, we'll do this. We're just gonna stick with what's working. How's that sound? Anyway, all right, so here we are. I'm back. And the angle's a little bit different, but I can look up to you and say hi. So I am Chris. I am the Disney Baker. I do appreciate you guys hanging out today. If you, what I need to start doing when I'm doing my bake, I'm going to start putting my ingredient statements and all the ingredients that I'm going to use that night. I'll go ahead and put that in the comments below in the future. I don't know if I can do it now. I don't know that much about it, but we'll find out. But we did use phyllo dough today. We used puff pastry dough today. We used a Comstock apple filling and a Comstock cherry filling. I like using the Comstock. It's a Duncan Hines labeled product because it's just thicker. The syrup and the fruit sticker is not that thin. We used egg wash. We used a fresh egg. We used just regular all-purpose flour. We used cinnamon sugar. And we used sugar in the raw, which I really like. It is a turbinado sugar, cane sugar. It's fantastic. And again, if you enjoyed hanging out with us today, you know, I'm glad. I'm really glad. And just remember, early on when Gonzo was moving, when my producer was moving the cameras, Gonzo was moving the cameras around, you saw a couple figments. Let me know in the comments below how many figments you counted. If you were the correct number of figments, you will, on my next live, whatever we're producing, you will be the winner of some of those treats. I'll pack those up the best I can and send those out to you. So we appreciate you for coming in. My name is Chris. I am the Disney Baker. I sign off the same way I do all the time. TTFN, ta-ta for now. Peace, love, and pixie dust hugs. Thanks for joining. I'm going to check out chat before I run away here. And everybody's, you know, how hard would it be to make them from scratch? How hard would it be to make them from scratch? All right, so I'm going to hang out for a second. Chris, to make the doughs from scratch, Chris, to make the puff pastry dough, it would take a lot of time. Puff pastry doughs has over 100 layers. You just can't see them. They go through rolling pin extruders where the dough is extruded down and the rolling pins go across, and then it layers. If you were to take a sheet like this, it's just like that. You take a ribbon and go like that and compress all those ribbons. That's what you see, but you don't see it until it starts to bake. So to make puffy, can you make puff pastry dough from scratch? Yes, there's no doubt. It's going to just take you some time. Make sure you have a very, very, very cool room. You need a very cold room. You need probably a very cold surface. I would suggest a marble top table that possibly has cooling coils under it if you have an opportunity to do that. But yeah, you could definitely do that. But baking is the fun part, Jonathan. There's no doubt. I could have come in. Oh, okay, I got you, Jess. All right. Well, you know what, Jess? Let's talk about that a little bit later. I would appreciate that, and thank you for the offer very much. That is great. All right. Oh, Jonathan. Okay, well, it's more than 4, and that's the only hint I'll give you. So look hard. They're in plain view. So, all right. Well, I am Chris the Disney Baker. I'm signing off. And again, as I say, ta-ta for now. Peace, love, and pixie dust hugs. Until we can meet in person, pixie dust hugs is the best I got. Take care of yourself. Be kind to each other. We'll see you next time on the next stream. Thank you very much. I'm going to come around and push the button. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. You guys have a great night. We'll see you in chat. Take care.